Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with the most annoying Electro Giant deck ever made. And it's played at 296 in the world. With Electro Giant in Graveyard, it has to be one of the most unique decks I've ever seen. And if you can bait out your opponent's poison with your Zappies or Goblin Hut, there's no way your opponent will ever expect your graveyard. They'll think it's a standard Electro Giant deck and save their buildings so the big Electro Giant boy can never shock their towers. And in the end, they'll get shocked by the graveyard getting directly on their tower. If they've got any bait cards, you can tornado them directly into the Electro Giant, remove them with arrows, or use Tornado plus Golden Knight to clump up all of your opponent's stuff and instantly burst everything down. If you don't have Golden Knight, use Dark Prince. Let's go jump straight some games with this new meta Electro Giant deck and assert dominance. Subscribe to the channel to stay connected for all the daily videos. Lots of love to everyone that's using credit code SirTag to support the channel. All right, we got a game against someone from the Wonderwall clan. So he's got to have the most wonderful wall in existence to stop the graveyard skeletons from locking onto the tower. Obviously, Electro Giant can get kited around the world absolutely nowhere real fast, but we're going to respawn the Phoenix. He probably doesn't know that we're going to have Golden Knight, Phoenix, and Graveyard. So I'm really excited for this. Oh, the Golden Knight's going to chain onto the skeletons and hit the Witch and then the tower. Dude, Golden Knight is really ridiculous from that standpoint. It's just literally the worst champion in the game from a standpoint of stats. Its stats are really bad. But its ability, being able to lock through and just hit whatever units you want. And then, especially with Tornado, when you clump up their units closer to the tower, you get out of this world value. But yeah, the Wonderwall is not working for our homie right now. We're currently in a wonderful position, up like 2,500 damage. Wow, I can't do math. We're gonna go for an Electro Giant in the back in the same lane as his massive Mega Knight push. And the Electro Giant, it does great against Mega Knight because Mega Knight doesn't typically have that much damage per second. Like, it's got a lot of splash damage. The splash damage doesn't put in enough work. Also, so many people in the meta right now are running Mighty Miner. And when you have Electro Giant and you also end up having Zappies, you're going to permanently have positions where your opponent's just going to be like, well, what am I supposed to do here? You can Tornado Witches and ranged cards into your Electro Giant while you go in for Golden Knights and get damage with that. And as you guys can see, if your opponent has the potential of having a control deck with Mighty Miner, the game gets out of control real quick, and there's nothing that they can do besides feel sick because your deck is disgusting. But I think I've 3-crowned this guy. I don't think he has any shot of defending this. And despite being at 7,500 trophies and being a pretty good player, you had no way of winning. So if you're ever lucky enough to play against a Mega Knight player with Mighty Miner, you 100% hard counter them. I pretty much 3-crowned him just as double elixir hit. To jump into the game against Venom from Phoenix Gaming, can I join your clan, man? I got my Phoenix here. I should be inducted as a leader maybe, because even though you've got spitting Venom from your name, I kind of got the ultimate amount of toxicity that no one ever wants to play against in Clash Royale. I've got Electro Giant Graveyard. Name a more toxic deck, I'll wait. Also, I think the Phoenix is going to get respawned if he doesn't go in for another small spell, and he has to go in for a log. This is a really funny start. The homie ends up having like a pretty good counter to us, right? Like, he's going to have Electro Spirit for our graveyard. He's going to have Poison for our graveyard. And it's looking like a sketchy situation, but I'm here for it. If I go for a Tornado and then I go and click the ability, will it dash onto the tower? What? Dude, Golden Knight, you got to be joking right now. That was right in front of the tower and it didn't dash. Sometimes it dashes when you have units at the river, and then it will dash from the river to the tower. But for whatever reason, Mr. Golden Boy saw the unit in front of the tower and then refused to give me anything. If I get the Phoenix down, I think it's going to be killing it. Oh, let's go. Phoenix Gaming. This is why I'm your leader of your clan, man. So the Phoenix is probably not going to give us anything. It gets distracted by 1 elixir cards and it doesn't get any damage. If you drop 2 elixir there, that was a slight misplay. I think you should have just dropped skeletons because skeletons fully counter a Phoenix. If you drop it right behind the Phoenix and pull it back slightly. All right, so I kind of want to bait out the poison, but at the same time, it's a little bit scary. I'm going to do it anyway. Goblin Hut, you have one job. You need to be just cannon fodder, quite literally. Bait out the poison, give me a negative elixir trade, and then get our opponent in a situation where they have no graveyard answers available besides Electro Spirit, where we can rattle off a graveyard. I'm going to go and click the Golden Knight ability really fast because I think he's going to be prioritizing defending. And if the Golden Knight crosses the river quickly, then it's able to tank for the graveyard. So that's a win-win for me. And it might be an even bigger win if we can get more damage. The Firecracker doesn't know what to do. Wait, this is pretty funny. I can just arrows it. That was the most useless Firecracker ever. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it literally did nothing. All right, so we're going to tornado this back. I don't know if it's targeting what we wanted to. It should be able to kill the... Oh, yes. That was super sketchy. I thought that the wall breaker was going to connect to my tower. I was like, bro, I have nothing for that then. All right, we're an Electro Giant here with the Golden Knight coming at him and an E-Giant tanking and then a Graveyard about to pop off. This guy is in some serious trouble. He tried to pull back my Golden Knight, expecting me to click the ability, but we're too clean for that. Wait, the Electro Giant isn't going to do enough damage if I can't arrows on top of the Firecracker. The bandit dash on the wrong thing. Yo. He thought I was going to go and click the ability, but we're not going to do that yet. No, I missed it. Wait, is it going to dash on the Electro Spirit? Or is it just going to dash? Wait, the Firecracker went out of the way because it's like, nah, I'm not going to defend the tower. I'd rather let you lose the game instead. You guys might be asking me how much I paid that Firecracker to int our opponent's game. But if you followed along with the game, you guys already know I'm the leader of his clan. And I led him right into the depths of despair. All right, we got our first victim out here that we can kick into the abyss. He's not at 7,500, so if he loses this, he's going to have to scale all his way back up. I'm going to go in for the Goblin Hut as my starting play. It's just one of those cards that everyone hates to play against and loves to play. It gives profuse value all the time. I'm going to go for arrows here because I think that we're able to kill the Zappies, and then the Spear Goblins have no opponents. No contenders, straight up value all day, every day. Okay, so kind of want to go Electro Giant here, but I don't think it's the right play. So I'm going to go Golden Knight instead, so the Spear Goblins are going to be tanked for a short period of time. And then I can easily activate King Tower here with those Hoggies. I don't know why he's dropping them there. I mean, only one of them locked onto my tower, and we force out the Goblin Cage because he's freaking out and worried about my Golden Knight dashing on the tower now. Wait, Goblin Cage is out of cycle. This might be the opportunity to Electro Giant early on. And then we pull the Goblin Cage to the other side. It barely does any damage to anything. And then when he doesn't have Goblin Cage, he can't pull the Electro Giant, so he has to focus on Royal Recruits. But if you go Royal Recruits, you have no way of stopping the random Graveyard that I have tucked away in my deck. Dude, Zappies don't do splash damage, and they are the slowest attacking card on this planet. The best thing is, since we activated King Tower early on, I can kind of ignore everything and use my King Tower as an added resource so I don't have to respond, and then I can force more things on offense that I typically would be able to. Remember, he's going to have Royal Hogs and Fly Machine, so whenever he goes Fly Machine, you want to go Phoenix right on top of it. It's basically a better Mega Minion that's able to finish off the Fly Machine. It's one of the best counters to it in the entire game. Out of all the decks that I play against, I hate playing against decks with Phoenix, and he's running my main deck, so I know it pretty well. I guess I can go for a Golden Knight again in the back, but this guy really wants to win, so he is not going to be giving up anytime soon. I think I'm going to go in for Golden Knight here, and then Tornado, and then just dash on everything so we can get splash damage. And I think that the Fly Machine's still within vicinity of my tower and the Spear Goblins. So pretty much a clean defense. We've got good counter push too, and we're making him freak out because if we get another Golden Knight ability, it'll be game over. The bad thing about this matchup for us is he's got Goblin Cage that, you know, we don't get any value with our Electro Giant at. Because if the Goblin Cage doesn't attack the Electro Giant doesn't get any source of reflection damage. Also, he's got Zappies to stun my Electro Giant, so I have to get all my damage with the Graveyard. So I'm going to go for my Graveyard right now. I think that the Zappy's going to die, and then the tower's going to retarget it on the wrong thing for us, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Wait, no, it's targeting on the Electro Giant instead of Graveyard Skeletons. What the heck? Dude, my Graveyard Skeletons are still giving us value. Dude, this game is actually coming down to the wire because he's got so much crap counter pushing. I need to go in for Zappies here, and I think I can get a Phoenix on top of everything. I also want to get arrows when he goes in for Royal Hogs. I'm going to go for the Golden Knight ability and try to chain onto everything I can, and watch the Phoenix just straight up delete that Fly Machine and yeet it out of the game. Mayday! I hope my Phoenix dies on our side of the map so it can guarantee a respawn, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I want to go in Tornado the Fly Machine into this, but I don't know if that's even worth. Yeah, the Fly Machine is going to die. So I'm going to go Tornado that into us. And then I can arrows. Oh my gosh. I never thought of that. Why don't I just use the Electro Giant as the tank and then just Tornado everything and clean it up? There's so many damage potential with this deck. It's just, I don't know. This is really simple. And I usually do that with most of my Electro Giant decks. But with this one in particular, there's just new potential of toxicity around every corner. I'm going to go for a Golden Knight here so the Fly Machine doesn't lock on. Oh, wait, watch this. If he doesn't go in for a Goblin Cage, which he kind of needs to save, because he needs to save the Goblin Cage if I go for the Electro Giant, then he can't stop the Golden Knight because everything else is Tornado-able closer to the tower, so I click the ability, use Tornado, and automatically win. The fact that I locked my opponent into using units to defend my Golden Knight Tornado locked up the win for us easily. All right, we got a game against Dragon Nade Nova. So I want to see what this guy's up to. Typically with this deck, you don't want to be making the first play unless it's a passive play like going in for a Goblin Hut, getting value over time, forcing out an Earthquake, making sure that now, hey, you don't have Earthquake to deplete our graveyard skeletons. So the Dark Goblin out of cycle, you might actually want to go for the graveyard early on. I very rarely do this with this deck. I try to get to the later stages of the game, but two of his best answers to graveyard are out of cycle. Dude, why do you have a Night Witch with a Dark Goblin and a Valkyrie? What the heck is this? I know I'm the one running a really weird deck, but I thought, you know, I was going to be one of a kind. If only the Phoenix was able to respawn in the Valkyrie, it really looked like it was going to happen. Okay, so he's going to have Mortar. That's another great distraction for our Electro Giant. But if we arrows on the Dark Goblin, we get the Mortar out of cycle, maybe we can make it work. And even if that doesn't happen, we can go for a Golden Knight. Oh, wait. Are you serious? This is the matchup that no one ever wanted to play against with our deck. That is so bad, because if we kill the Canacart, it's just another obstacle that we have to overcome with our Electro Giant. The Electro Giant's never going to be able to break through that. We got to get all of our damage with our Graveyard or Golden Knight here. Okay, this is going to be the hardest match that we've played all day. Usually we've had some pretty easy ones, but now it's going to be some trouble. The Earthquake's going to give him value against the Goblin Hut. At least the Spear Goblins will give us something here, but I don't know. Are we going to be able to bait out any Elixir? Nah, you're just going to eat the damage. Okay, I mean, that's around the amount of damage that you got with the Earthquake. I just spent 2 more Elixir than you, so not super good. If he goes in for a aggressive Mortar, he can go in for a Mortar shot and then a Log, and that finishes off Zappies completely. So that's a recipe for disaster for us that we can't have that be replicated. If I go for a Graveyard, it's not going to give me that much. I kind of got to go in for Zappies. I'm going to split them as well. Just going to try to disincentivize him from going in for his big spell on them. Okay, I can go in for an Electro Giant because it's going to be able to take all the damage from the bats and maybe just keep our Phoenix alive. I hope that the bats end up killing the Phoenix so it can respawn on our side. Please do not kill the Phoenix Egg Mortar. Let's go. That's humongous. And then I can go for arrows. I think we can touch everything here, hopefully. Oh, I missed the Mortar, but I don't think it's going to matter. Wait, can I Tornado this back? So then the Phoenix retargets on the tower? Dude, look at the damage that we're getting. That's out of this world. No way. All right, I actually have to go for a Golden Knight to stop the Cannon Cart, and he's kind of going for his own Graveyard. Wait, what? Dude, why do you have this? No, stop the bleeding, man. I got arrows. Why do you have Earthquake Graveyard? I'm the one that's supposed to be running the weird deck. That is dangerously close to losing us the game. I got to go for a Tornado here so I can kill the Dark Goblin, but I don't know if it's going to die. Okay, it does die. I can Graveyard. We're both Graveyarding at the same time. 14 seconds remaining. I think we're both going to lose our tower. I hope so, at least. I mean, there's no way I can defend my tower. The Golden Knight's going to get pulled back by skeletons. Dude, no way. It's a tower trade with 4 seconds. What the heck is this wild adventure that we've embarked on? Okay, he's going to go Mortar, so I got to go Electro Giant, so the Mortar locks onto that. He's going to have Dark Goblin in cycle soon, so I need to save arrows for that. I'm going to go for Phoenix. I'm going to arrows on the Dark Goblin when he drops it. Obviously, he has to go Dark Goblin because nothing else really makes sense there. Fortunately for us, the Electro Giant is still alive. However, he did get a lot of damage on us. The Golden Knight is going to maybe be able to tank for the Cannon Cart, and then hopefully the Phoenix respawns again, and it does. So I'm going to go for a Graveyard right now. The Golden Knight hopefully dashes on the tower instead of the Valkyrie, and let's freaking go! It dashed through the Cannon Cart and onto the tower. I said let's freaking go before I saw the Cannon Cart, and then I didn't know. I was like, oh no. Let's freaking no for a second. All right, I'm going to go Electro Giant here since I think everything's going to lock onto that. He's going to go for Earthquake, and I think that splash damage is going to do a lot, but it's not enough. I'm able to go in for another Phoenix, and I want to go for Golden Knight on top of the Dark Goblin because then I won't have to use my arrows. Jeez, this game is really escalating. And in Triple Elixir, I'll be able to afford so much stuff that I don't think it's possible to stop me. So hopefully that's what happens. I want to go in for arrows because I think he's going to go in for a Dark Goblin. And no, he's not going to. He's going to drop the Dark Goblin in the weirdest position possible. I'm going to go in for a Tornado, and we're going to whisk you away right into our Electro Giant spam as we take the win. That win felt absolutely insane when he had Cannon Cart and Mortar for my Electro Giant, Dark Goblin for my Graveyard with Valkyrie for splash damage, and then of course the Earthquake for my Graveyard and my Goblin Hut. That matchup at the start felt miserable, but at least the end was pretty satisfying. All right, we got a game against Ivan. What's up, dude? Apparently he's an extreme cat, so I'm ready for him to just be a Puma and try to pounce on our tower whenever he finds an opportunity. Spear Goblin should be able to lock on the tower. We're actually going to force out a Fisherman early on, which is not necessarily the best play for our homie, because if we had Electro Giant, I would have immediately dropped it at the river and it would have locked onto the tower, and I would have dealt devastating damage. He's got Royal Giant and he's got Fisherman, so we know that he's going to end up having Fisherman and his main counter the Electro Giant. Wait, what if I decide that I'm able to go in for Electro Giant and then Graveyard and get him to go in for a Fisherman, and he pulls the Graveyard Skeletons. That's what my game plan is. So I want him to think that he's going to have a great answer to Electro Giant, set everything up for success, only to flop spectacularly. Let's see if we can make this work. So he's going to be like one card away from the Fisherman right now. Yeah, he's got Mighty Miner again. Everyone in the meta has that card, man. That's what I'm talking about. Zappy's OP against it. He just permanently resets it. Hopefully he doesn't go in for a Fisherman right now, but he does. Oh, come on, man. We want to set it up for success. I don't know if you have Mother Witch or not, so I don't want to go for a Graveyard. A lot of Royal Giant players have Mother Witch, and it's important that you don't int and overcommit early on. Okay, so we know he's going to be able to cycle back to his Fisherman for this Electro Giant. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go in for the Electro Giant now since I'm up an absurd amount of Elixir. He's going to Royal Giant on the other side. He's going to cycle back because he has a quick card cycle. It looks like the Royal Ghost is going to do a lot of splash damage to our tower, but it's not going to matter that much. And we're going to wait. We're ready for him to try to activate King Tower here. Maybe he won't. I don't know. I think he's just going to let the Spear Goblins die, or he's going to kill the Spear Goblins with a log, and then he's going to try to activate King Tower, and it's going to go and hopefully hit that. I mean, what is he supposed to do? How is he supposed... He can't do anything. He's sitting there with the Fisherman and not able to use it. Oh my gosh. I feel really toxic. Is this going to 3-crowd him? No way will this work. Dude, I feel a little bit disgusting doing this. Electro Giant with Graveyard, if your opponent only has Fisherman to counter it, means that they have no counter. This deck feels undeniably dirty, but I love how clean that win felt against Royal Giant. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an awesome rest of your day.